What's up, guys? Welcome back to Further North. Thank you for joining me. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying I love Harry Sheezel. He is a superstar. I love him. This is absolutely nothing to do with him personally. I'm just pointing out a couple of flaws he has had this season. Where is he? If you guys have watched the games, you also know that Harry Sheezel hasn't been performing to the level that we know and we love and we expect from him every single week. This is coming off that game against the Crows, where I just feel like, and our whole midfield, yes, but this is a Harry Sheezel video. He just seems a bit flat. He doesn't seem to have the spark, the creativity, or the execution this year. So we're going to have a look at some of the numbers and have a chat just about how I'm feeling personally. And I want you guys to let me know if you agree down in the comments. Do you guys feel like Harry Sheezel is having a down year as well? And why do you guys think that is the case? Let's get into it because there's a few interesting stats here. Now, I've got these up. This is Wheelo Ratings, which is pretty reliable from what I know. I know a few guys who use it, and I've compared a lot of their numbers against the AFL's numbers, and it all matches up pretty well. So we've got his career splits here of obviously 23, 24, and 25. And there's a few things here that I'm really, really interested in. Now, let's have a look. Kicks. Just kicking in general. And maybe this is the reason why I feel like Harry Sheezel, or feel like the biggest difference, right? He's averaging 13.7 kicks compared to 15.7. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much, but over the course of a season, that is a lot. His kick numbers are down. His player rating is down as well. So 8.9 compared to 15.2 in 2024. Now, this is only a 3-game sample size, but I think these numbers are really, really interesting. I've noticed his kicking has been incredibly off. We can have a look at his kicking efficiency, which is also a very big stat. So in 2023, his kicking efficiency was 71.1, 70.6 on 2024, and all the way down to 63.4 in 2025. Now, that is the biggest number, which correlates to what I've been seeing. And then when I went and looked at the numbers, it says it all. That is a massive, massive decrease. He's turning the ball over on some kicks. He's trying the cute little kicks, which we know he can execute, but it just doesn't seem to be coming off for him. Why is this? Is it a case of North Melbourne are stepping up as a team and we're not relying on him as much? But he needs to be the A-grader. He needs to be the icing on top. So him getting the ball and the team being better around him has got nothing to do with his poor disposal, because if anything, we should be leading a lot better. Kicking percentage, right? So 48.2% of the time compared to 57 in his first year and 52 in his second year, which is an interesting one. The meters gained. Now, this was another stat that I was incredibly interested in. And I guess he's playing further forward of the ball. So we'll keep that in mind. But the decrease is a lot. So last year, obviously, Sheezel at the start of the year played at the back line and then moved into the midfield just before halfway through the year. So I understand where these numbers are coming from. But when we get into some of these centre bounce attendances, I think this will make more sense. So meters gained for 2023, 439.1. I'm assuming this is an average per game. 24 was 422. And 25 all the way down to 263 meters gained. The last one I'm going to point out is clangers. Now, 2.8 last year to 3.3 this year, but I guess it's the areas that he's doing these clangers in, and we've got some more numbers on that in a second. There's some of the numbers to me that have been standing out, I guess, and let me know if you guys think that is fair. So just to recap on some of the ones that I think are big. Meters gained, 263 down from 422 last year. Kicking efficiency, 63% this year, down from 70% last year. And I feel like that is the biggest one. Now, I've got a couple of screenshots here. I'm just going to read through about some of his numbers. Let's go through centre bounce attendances first, because this one I think is really interesting. So in the first 2 games of the season, Harry Sheezel had 17 and 17 centre bounce attendances. When you look at guys, LDU getting 23 against the Ds, and LDU getting 24 against the Bulldogs, why isn't Harry Sheezel in there more? Especially with Parker and Simpkin playing that half forward role as well. Parker had 19 centre bounce attendances compared to 17 against the Dogs, and Parker had 19 and 17 again against the Ds. So Parker is getting more centre bounce attendances than Harry Sheezel. So clearly he's playing a very, very different role. Let's go to the game a few days ago against Adelaide. Harry Sheezel only had 10 centre bounce attendances compared to 12 from Simpkin and 17 again from Parker. Really, really interesting stuff. So Harry Sheezel is not playing in the center square for the Bouncers very much at all compared to a lot of other players. I mean, Will Phillips is getting more, Tom Powell, obviously, Jerry, but that's normal. But out of that midfield group that we believe it will be, Sheezel is last for center bounce attendances pretty consistently, to be honest. Well, definitely from last game, and it's very, very close at the bottom with the other two games. So why is that? Because he's not making an impact on the scoreboard. He hasn't kicked a goal either. So I find that really, really interesting. He's only really had, from memory against the Ds, he had that shot that he sort of snapped over his head and nearly kicked it, which is fantastic. He had a set shot against the Dogs and kicked 2 points, I believe, in that game. But other than that, he's not really getting shots at goal either. So he's a little bit in no man's land to me. I think you've either got to commit him to the center bounces. We need his class in there. We need his experience of third-year player, but we need his cool and calm head. But then we want that, and you look at his kicking efficiency and things like that, and it's down. Is he thriving in this new role? He's sort of playing half forward, but he's not really getting shots at goal, but he's sort of playing in the midfield, but he's not getting center bounce attendances. Maybe they're trying to find his best position. And he covers a lot of ground, but it clearly isn't working. And I almost think arguably our best player last year, him, LDU, maybe Sherry, Larky, but he's got a very, very strong case for being our best player, and he's not in the guts all the time where he had his best season stats-wise last season. So I find it very, very interesting. Let's have a look at kicking efficiency for all of the games, right? So the Bulldogs game, kicking efficiency 67%, which for Harry Sheezel is shocking. He's usually up around the 80% mark, 67%. The Demons, let's have a look here, 67% as well, which for Harry Sheezel, incredibly low. Now, we did have a bounce back against the Crows in 84% kicking efficiency, so that was better from him. But I barely saw him yesterday. I barely saw him against the Crows. So I don't know. I don't understand, because all numbers-wise looked better for him, but he lacked impact. And our whole midfield lacked possessions. Our midfield really did get dominated. I don't buy at all these midfield numbers of how many clearances we get, and we won the clearances. The Crows' efficiency from clearance was miles, miles better. Our clearances are getting the ball and bombing it, where theirs are handball, they're free and they can deliver. So I'm not going to buy that. Clangers. Let's have a look at Clangers. This is another one. So the Crows yesterday, Sheezel, a decent game. Only 2 Clangers. The one I want to point out, though, and I think could be the worst game of his career, which is still so much better than so many players in the AFL. So once again, I love Harry Sheezel. He's a star. But I'm just trying to point out some numbers. 7 Clangers against the Ds, where he only had 1, I believe. Let's see if we can find it here. Only 1 against the Dogs. So that Demons game, he turned the ball over a lot, had plenty of clangers, just doesn't seem to be clean with his hands, where our whole team isn't. And this is a team issue, and I understand that, but I don't know. Kicking efficiency for the year, 63%, which is what we pointed out before. And that is the biggest difference for me. That is absolutely the biggest difference. Now, we can just go off the eye test. He hasn't had the impact, and this is an entire midfield problem. Except the Ds, we ran right against the Ds. But maybe I'll try and get up the stats here about, I didn't have them in front of me, but I think this might be interesting to point out as well, that I'm not just picking on Sheezel, but this is a video about our superstar. So we'll go to the North Melbourne game here and have a look at like the clearance numbers and things like that. Because for those who watch the game, please let me know down low if you feel like this is fair. So clearances, so 40 to 43. So we lose the clearance battle by 3, but pretty even. I mean, the hit out numbers, Sherry, I know he had a slight knock, played the rest of the game though, but he lost the hit outs 35 to 44. So centre clearances for North Melbourne, 16 to 12. We won that. And clearances for the game and around the ground, like 43 to 40 for the game, but around the ground, 31 to 24, we lost. So our whole midfield, like centre clearance, did you really think that we won centre clearance against the Crows? Because it didn't feel like it to me, because it's bombing it forward. And we're winning clearance, but it's not efficient clearances. And Harry Sheezel not being in there, I think, can be a massive part of that. So why isn't he playing more centre bounce attendances? And I don't have the answers to this, but this is the discussion I want you guys to have down in the comments and throw out some ideas about why this is happening. Tell me you guys agree with that you're watching the games and I don't feel like we win clearances. I don't feel like we get the better clearances. Yes, we might get more numbers wise, but are we getting better clearances? And we're not. And is that a lack of Sheezel being in there? It feels like it. But then you look at Sheezel's numbers and his kicking efficiency is down drastically from years gone by. And are those two things counteracting each other, where he's not getting centre bounce attendances because his efficiency's down, but his efficiency's down, so you can't put him in the centre bounces? I don't know. This is all spitballing. This is all sort of off the top of my head. So I think it's a really, really interesting discussion for Shees, because I love the guy. I love him so much. And we're playing better football this year. North Melbourne as a club look better and we look tougher. Against the Crows, we didn't let the game slide away. Yes, they slowly chipped us down over the 4 quarters and the better side won. Adelaide should be a top 14 this year. You can tell with the way they're playing. But last year, if North Melbourne play that game, we lose by 10 plus goals easily. So we've got a bit more dog about us. We've got a bit more fight about us, which is fantastic. But imagine if Sheezel could be that icing on top of this delicious cake that we're building underneath. You know what I mean? For lack of a better metaphor. We're building we don't have passengers as much anymore. There was a couple against the Crows, but in general, we don't have as many guys not getting in the game or not turning up, which is great. That means we're building a solid foundation of a team. But we need Shees, we need LDU, we need these guys to be the icing on top of the cake, because we've got better cake now. Anyway, that's enough cake chat. Let me know what you guys think. We'll leave it there. Just a quick discussion about Harry Sheezel, but please let me know if you think this is fair enough. Once again, I'll say for the 3rd time, because I know how the internet goes, I like Harry Sheezel. He's a gun, and I believe that he will be back sooner rather than later. But right now, after 3 games, which is a decent enough sample size, not performing quite to the level that we expect, and also the polish from him is not quite there with his kicking efficiency and those sort of stats. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this discussion. Thank you for listening. Get your comments down below and let me know what you think as well. Pick apart anything I've said. I'm just reading out some numbers that I've been researching and finding, and I think they all correlate together when you look at centre bounce attendances versus kicking efficiency, clangers, and just overall impact, of his game. Anyway, thank you for tuning into Further North. There's so much content coming. The preview will be out soon with True Bloods, which is incredibly exciting. So thank you so much, guys. Follow the Instagram. Please subscribe on YouTube here. It helps me so much. Give it a like. Give it a comment. Subscribing is free. So come on, please. It helps me a lot. Thank you so much. Chat to you guys soon. Go North.